Just 3 minutes ago, shocking news rocked British politics. Labour Party leader Keir Starmer has been summoned to court, accused of covering up scandalous acts involving his close ally, Rachel Reeves. The man who once pledged to bring honesty and transparency back into politics now finds himself in the middle of a storm that could change his career forever. In an unexpected twist today, Keir Starmer, the leader of the UK's Labour Party, faces serious legal trouble. A court has summoned him, accusing him of hiding scandalous actions allegedly committed by Rachel Reeves, one of his most trusted senior colleagues. Reeves, serving as the Shadow Chancellor and considered one of Starmer's strongest supporters, now finds herself at the center of a growing political storm that threatens to shake the Labour Party to its very foundations. Starmer, once known as Britain's leading voice calling for accountability and transparency, must now defend his reputation against charges that could severely damage his political future. Only minutes ago, the news broke, causing immediate reactions across social media and British politics. Party insiders, opposition figures, and ordinary citizens alike are stunned and questioning whether they have truly known the real Keir Starmer. Rachel Reeves herself has long been seen as a rising star within the Labour Party, widely respected for her clear communication style and strong stance on financial reform. However, the details emerging now suggest that behind closed doors, Reeves may have engaged in actions severe enough to prompt accusations of misconduct. The exact nature of these acts has not yet been fully disclosed to the public, but the accusations are grave enough that legal authorities have found reason to involve the Labour leader directly. This news is particularly shocking because Keir Starmer has consistently presented himself as the guardian of integrity, often criticizing other political leaders for their ethical shortcomings. His political image has been built around promises to clean up politics, making the accusations of a cover-up all the more devastating. If found guilty, the political fallout could prove disastrous, not just for Starmer but also for the entire Labour Party. Supporters and critics alike are already expressing disbelief online. Twitter and other social media platforms have exploded, with reactions ranging from shock and outrage to deep disappointment. One commenter noted, "Keir Starmer, the former prosecutor, accused of cover-ups? Didn't see that coming." Another asked sharply, "If he can't keep his own party clean, how can we trust him to run the country?" Politically, this development could not have come at a worse time for Starmer. With general elections not too far off, Labour had been hoping to present itself as a strong, united alternative to the Conservative Party. Now, the very leader who was supposed to represent honesty is accused of deception. This scandal, involving not just any politician but someone as prominent as Rachel Reeves, amplifies the crisis dramatically. Political analysts suggest that even if Starmer manages to legally clear his name, the damage to his reputation might already be irreversible. Trust, they say, is easily lost and rarely fully regained in politics. Meanwhile, opponents have wasted no time exploiting the situation. Conservative politicians are already publicly demanding answers, calling for immediate transparency from Labour's leadership, and accusing Starmer of hypocrisy. Within Labour, initial reactions appear divided. Some party members openly voice their support for Starmer, claiming the accusations must be politically motivated and unfounded. Others express concern, urging their leader to quickly provide clear and convincing answers to reassure the public and party members alike. This crisis is undoubtedly the biggest challenge Starmer has faced since becoming Labour leader. How he responds in the coming days will determine not only his own political fate but possibly the future of his entire party. The next few hours and days will be crucial as more information about these allegations comes to light. The scandals surrounding Rachel Reeves and the accusations now pointed at Keir Starmer didn't appear overnight. Behind this explosive news lies a complex and troubling background that the public deserves to fully understand. Rachel Reeves, currently serving as Shadow Chancellor, has long been considered one of Labour's most powerful figures. She has built her reputation on advocating transparency and financial integrity, often highlighting the flaws and misconduct of political opponents. Yet, according to newly surfaced accusations, Reeves herself has been involved in actions that, if proven true, could severely damage her credibility and political future. The allegations against Reeves suggest she may have misused her position and influence in ways that contradict her public image. Reports from whistleblowers within the Labour Party claim that Reeves may have secretly authorized or been involved in financial transactions and party dealings considered unethical or even illegal. Sources indicate these transactions might include the misuse of funds or improper acceptance of contributions from entities that could present conflicts of interest, but the spotlight isn't solely on Reeves. Perhaps even more damaging are the accusations that Keir Starmer personally knew about these actions and chose not to report or investigate them. The allegations against Starmer specifically state that he became aware of Reeves's questionable conduct months ago, yet deliberately concealed these facts from both party officials and the public to avoid damaging the party's image. This is especially alarming given Starmer's former role as Director of Public Prosecutions. Starmer previously earned widespread praise for prosecuting high-profile cases involving corruption and dishonesty. Critics argue this makes his alleged decision to cover up Reeves's misconduct not only politically damaging but morally contradictory. Insiders who spoke anonymously have said that concerns about Reeves's actions were first raised internally several months ago. Documents reportedly shared with party leadership, including Starmer himself, outlined detailed concerns about financial mismanagement and ethical lapses. Despite being alerted repeatedly, insiders claim Starmer and his close advisors dismissed or ignored these concerns, allegedly fearing political backlash if the information leaked to the public. Political analysts suggest these allegations, if proven true, could severely damage Starmer's credibility as a leader. Public opinion polls conducted immediately after these accusations surfaced indicate that voters are rapidly losing faith in Labour's leadership. One poll released just moments ago shows a dramatic drop in voter confidence, suggesting many now view Starmer as hypocritical or dishonest. Opposition politicians have quickly seized on the controversy, accusing Starmer and Reeves of undermining the integrity they publicly advocate. Conservative Party spokespersons have demanded a thorough investigation, claiming voters deserve transparency from political leaders who preach honesty. They argue that if the allegations are true, Starmer's political career should face immediate consequences. Labour Party officials, meanwhile, find themselves in a difficult position. Many senior party members have declined public comment so far, awaiting further details before committing support or criticism. However, internal tensions are reportedly rising, as party members privately express frustration at how these allegations could derail Labour's chances in upcoming elections. The timeline of these allegations suggests that Keir Starmer had ample opportunity to address the issue long before it exploded into a public scandal. Several media outlets have now reported that internal communications about Reeves's alleged actions date back months, potentially implicating Starmer in negligence or deliberate concealment. Legal experts suggest that Starmer's court summons could involve charges related to obstruction of justice or misconduct in public office. Both charges carry potentially serious legal repercussions. A conviction on either could mean not only fines or sanctions but also significant political fallout, possibly ending Starmer's political aspirations entirely. This developing story continues to unfold rapidly, with new details emerging almost hourly. Starmer and Reeves have yet to publicly address the specific allegations in depth, although statements from their representatives suggest a strong denial of wrongdoing, labeling the claims as politically motivated smears. Yet, no matter the outcome, this crisis has already significantly reshaped perceptions of Labour's leadership. For Starmer, once seen as a beacon of integrity in British politics, these allegations represent a monumental test of trust and credibility. For Reeves, this scandal could end her political ascent abruptly, depending on how swiftly and convincingly she responds to the accusations. The court summons that Keir Starmer now faces has sent shockwaves across the UK's political landscape, raising pressing questions about the integrity and future leadership of the Labour Party. Here's everything we currently know about the ongoing legal developments, and what they mean for Starmer, Reeves, and British politics overall. The official court documents, released just moments ago, reveal that Starmer has been summoned on allegations related specifically to obstructing justice and potentially withholding evidence. Legal sources say the allegations focus primarily on Starmer's failure to report or adequately investigate concerns surrounding Rachel Reeves's activities. Such allegations carry serious consequences if proven true, potentially resulting in severe penalties including fines or even imprisonment. The accusations were officially brought forward by independent watchdogs and concerned individuals who have reportedly provided evidence that Starmer was made fully aware of Reeves's alleged misconduct several months ago. According to the charges, Starmer is accused of deliberately concealing this information, thus breaching obligations of transparency expected of public officials. Starmer's legal team immediately issued a robust denial following news of the summons. In their official statement released to the media, they declared the allegations as entirely baseless, describing them as politically motivated attempts to destabilize Labour ahead of critical elections. His representatives insist that Starmer has always adhered to strict ethical standards and that any claims of wrongdoing will be swiftly disproven in court, yet despite their confident statements, the legal battle ahead will undoubtedly be challenging. Legal analysts have already highlighted the significant hurdles Starmer will need to overcome to clear his name. Firstly, he must prove conclusively that he did not knowingly ignore credible allegations about Reeves's conduct. Additionally, Starmer's previous role as the Director of Public Prosecutions complicates matters further. Critics argue that a figure of his legal experience should have recognized the seriousness of the allegations and responded decisively. Rather than dismissing or covering them up, details of the upcoming court proceedings suggest the first hearing is set to take place imminently, within days. Given the high-profile nature of the case, media coverage is expected to be intense, placing even greater scrutiny on every detail presented in court. Both prosecution and defense teams are reportedly preparing extensive documentation and witness testimony, suggesting the case will reveal deeper insights into the inner workings of Labour's senior leadership. Rachel Reeves herself will likely be called as a key witness, compelled to answer difficult questions under oath about the nature of her activities. Her testimony could either significantly aid or severely damage Starmer's defense. Legal experts point out that if Reeves corroborates the claims made by whistleblowers that Starmer knew and deliberately concealed details, Starmer's political career may be irreparably damaged. Furthermore, political analysts highlight how crucial public perception will be throughout this legal battle. Even if Starmer successfully defends himself against the charges, the court proceedings alone could leave lasting damage. The perception that Starmer either willingly hid misconduct or was negligently unaware of it could severely weaken Labour's credibility ahead of elections. The Conservative Party and other political opponents have wasted no time seizing on this crisis. They have already begun calling for Starmer to step down temporarily, arguing that someone accused of obstructing justice should not continue leading the opposition party until cleared. Conservative representatives emphasize that public trust demands full accountability and transparency from political leaders, standards they insist Starmer himself once championed passionately. Internally, the Labour Party is in turmoil, attempting to manage both the legal crisis and its political implications. Party members and supporters have been stunned by the severity of the charges, with some openly questioning Starmer's fitness to lead. Privately, sources within Labour say that contingency plans are already being discussed should Starmer's position become untenable due to legal developments. Meanwhile, public response continues to intensify, with polls and social media platforms indicating growing anger, disbelief, and disappointment among voters. Legal experts warn that the allegations themselves, regardless of their ultimate legal outcome, have already inflicted significant damage. Starmer's carefully crafted public image as a leader committed to honesty and integrity has suffered a major blow, potentially undermining the entire Labour Party's electoral prospects. With court dates set, lawyers preparing evidence, and political ramifications unfolding rapidly, this scandal is shaping into one of the most dramatic legal and political events in recent British history. The public's focus will remain fixed on Keir Starmer's every move as he navigates this unprecedented legal crisis, one that may redefine British politics for years to come. As this explosive scandal involving Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves unfolds, the Labour Party faces perhaps the most severe crisis in recent memory. The immediate and lasting impacts of these allegations extend far beyond the courtroom. They reach directly into the heart of British politics, potentially reshaping Labour's future and public trust in its leaders. Already, this controversy has triggered shockwaves within Labour itself. Senior party members, previously united under Starmer's leadership, are now deeply divided. Privately, many Labour insiders express concern, even fear, about the party's ability to recover swiftly from these allegations. The scandal threatens to fracture internal unity precisely when Labour needs solidarity the most. Some senior members are reportedly urging caution, advising against rushing to judgment, while others privately acknowledge frustration that their leader might have jeopardized the party's reputation. These internal divisions aren't just whispers. In backrooms, they're spilling into public view. Labour MPs are finding themselves cornered by journalists and constituents, forced to either publicly support or distance themselves from Starmer and Reeves. Political analysts warn that prolonged uncertainty or a lengthy legal battle will deepen these fractures, potentially causing irreparable harm to the party's image before the upcoming general elections. Moreover, this controversy significantly undermines Labour's broader electoral strategy. Under Starmer, Labour has vigorously campaigned on themes of integrity, transparency, and ethical governance. However, opponents now label these values as hypocritical, given the seriousness of the allegations. Conservative leaders have seized the opportunity, reminding voters relentlessly of Labour's alleged internal corruption and dishonesty. Tory strategists, sensing weakness, have intensified attacks, suggesting Labour cannot be trusted to run the country if they can't even manage their own ranks ethically. Early opinion polls, conducted immediately after news of the court summons broke, have already shown concerning shifts in voter trust. One recent survey revealed a notable drop in public confidence, particularly among swing voters and previously undecided citizens. Respondents highlighted Starmer's perceived hypocrisy as particularly damaging, noting they previously viewed him as a refreshing alternative to traditional political dishonesty. Many expressed feelings of betrayal, with comments like, "I genuinely believed Starmer stood for something different, this changes everything," illustrating the scale of disappointment among voters. Social media reactions have further amplified this negative sentiment. Across Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, viral hashtags criticizing Labour's alleged lack of transparency are gaining rapid traction. Clips of Starmer previously criticizing opponents for ethical failures have resurfaced, shared thousands of times as stark evidence of perceived hypocrisy. This online backlash reflects a broader cultural shift. Voters are increasingly intolerant of political dishonesty, particularly from leaders who promise change. Political commentators suggest Labour's immediate task now is damage control. Even if Starmer successfully clears his name, the road to rebuilding public trust will be arduous. Analysts argue that the Labour Party needs to address these allegations head-on, clearly and transparently, to limit the damage. However, a drawn-out legal battle will inevitably complicate Labour's attempts to shift attention back to policy and governance, overshadowing their election preparations and messaging. Moreover, analysts indicate that Labour's political opponents are likely to exploit this crisis aggressively, keeping public attention firmly fixed on internal turmoil rather than allowing Labour space to recover or refocus. The Conservative Party, in particular, appears determined to leverage every revelation, courtroom testimony, or leaked internal document to further undermine Starmer's credibility. Additionally, Starmer's legal troubles present an unprecedented challenge for Labour's political strategists. Even if he remains leader throughout the legal process, opponents will continuously question his moral authority. Labour might be forced to contemplate drastic action, potentially even leadership changes, to salvage voter confidence. Party officials privately concede that contingency plans are already underway to mitigate long-term political damage. For Rachel Reeves, the personal political fallout could be severe. Once considered a prime candidate for senior government office in a Labour administration, her political trajectory is now uncertain. Even if Reeves is ultimately cleared of misconduct, her association with this scandal could permanently affect her credibility and political effectiveness. Ultimately, the scandal involving Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves has shaken Labour's foundation, leaving many questioning whether the party can recover sufficiently before the next election. Public trust, once lost, is notoriously difficult to regain. Voters demand clear, immediate, and credible answers from Labour's leadership, answers that, so far, remain elusive. The weeks ahead will undoubtedly prove critical. As court proceedings continue, each revelation could significantly reshape public opinion.